Hello, everyone. It's the Historical Gamer, and this is going to be another episode of our Rule the Waves collaboration series. Just as a heads up for those of you who are looking to skip ahead of the upcoming sort of narration or role play that I have been building, please feel free to jump forward to the 6 minute and 55-second mark is roughly where the actual gameplay begins. So go ahead and jump forward to that if you don't want the role play. If you do, sit back and relax for the next 6.5 minutes or so. And here we go. On the last day in April of 1908, Tsar of all the Russians, Nicholas II, stood in his study of the Winter Palace, overlooking the Neva River in St. Petersburg. There were small vessels moving back and forth, indications that just down the river St. Petersburg harbor was becoming busy. It was bustling with activity once again. Somewhere beyond his vision, the Imperator Magnus I had laid anchor. The Russian fleet was in port, refitting, repairing from damage recently suffered in a battle against the German Navy. Somehow the Russian Navy had won yet another dazzling victory against the Germans. That seemed to be the lesson of this war. Every time the two fleets met, the Russians, no matter how outnumbered they were, always came away with a significant victory. Not once, not twice, but 3 times thus far. The German heavy cruiser fleet was in shambles with only a handful left. The German battleship fleet had lost more than 10% of its number. The Russian fleet had barely lost a ship. Just a handful of ships, to be exact. Istorici Gamer was a household name throughout the Russian Empire, and he was a hero to many. On the eve of war, the former Minister of the Navy, Admiral Tortukov, well known and, although somewhat controversial, largely well respected. His death had opened the way. Istorici Gamer was immediately made Minister of the Navy, and in his first act he decided to allow himself to retain the command of the fleet, Fleet Admiral, and Minister of Navy, all wrapped into one being. This was highly unusual. This was also highly vulnerable, the idea of the Minister of the Fleet potentially being killed in a battle. What impact would that have on the entire Russian Navy to lose both its battle fleet commander and its minister all in one? It was also perhaps too much power for someone not named Nicholas II to wield in an absolute monarchy like the Russian Empire, although Russia's fate had always been decided by the army and not the navy, and this surely was one of the reasons that the Tsar permitted such an unusual arrangement. Another reason the arrangement was allowed to persist was the mere fact that victories were brought at seemingly no cost against an enemy whose fleet was nearly twice Russia's size. The Tsar reached over to his right, unlatched the window, and slid it open a little bit. He could hear the chirp of birds in the distance, a cool spring breeze in the air. The winter was gone. It was spring. It was wet and damp. It was Russia. But it was spring nonetheless. And this gave the Tsar yet another chill of dread. His first concern was not Admiral Istorici Gamer. He had won numerous victories, although the Russian fleet had not been able to break the blockade that the Germans had imposed on it by itself. Fortunately, Russia's allies, the British Empire, eventually came through in a bit of a tardy manner, sent the Grand Fleet to sea, forced the entrance into the Baltic Sea, and as the Tsar was musing, fresh Cardiff coal from Wales and England was unloading in St. Petersburg. The Tsar reflected on this for a moment and thought it was a bit amusing that Russia had so much of its own coal, and yet St. Petersburg and Moscow still largely used Russian coal. There were many oil-filled power plants that were powered by Russian oil, but in 1905 and 1906, due to the recession, due to the near revolution, many of those plants were converted back to coal, and the capital had a preference for British coal. It was of a higher quality. Many of the Russian boilers were built specifically to burn this high-quality British coal. But this thought also quickly left the Tsar's mind. He was greatly disturbed, greatly burdened. It wasn't the coal, it wasn't the Navy, it wasn't the British, it wasn't any of that. There were 2 things that were bothering him greatly. The first, the army. The Tsar had just received a report from his general-in-chief, and while the situation at sea may be clearing up and getting better, the situation on land was not. The Russian army was facing its age-old problem. Too many men, not enough guns, not enough training, not enough logistical support. And, for the first time in the war, the campaign season was beginning. The war began in January, the heart of winter. Everybody knew the Germans weren't foolish enough to launch an attack into Russia during winter. And all through January, February, and March, the temperature and the weather was kept poor enough that there was no risk of the Germans advancing. April brought a spring thaw, and it brought lots of rain. That rain had stopped. The roads were firming up. The campaign season was beginning, and before long the German army would surely strike out against the Russians, and it was in the Tsar's mind that this would be the decisive factor. This, not at sea, this is where the war would be decided. There was a faint flicker of hope in the Tsar's mind as he remembered that the British had stated they just began a blockade of the German Empire. Perhaps the British Navy could force a more rapid conclusion, although the Tsar doubted it. How effective could a blockade be when France, waiting to pounce into the war, surely would continue trading with Germany? If France didn't, of course Austria-Hungary would. There was no real way to cut Germany off entirely, was there? The British Navy was powerful, but it wasn't going to go to war with the rest of Europe to maintain a blockade against Germany in the interest of Russia, her treaty ally. But his primary concern was Alexander Vasilievich Gerasimov, deputy minister of the Okhrana, the secret police of the Russian Empire. This deputy minister he had met a couple of times before, and in general he liked him, but he was growing gravely concerned on reports that were coming to him on the death of Admiral Tortukov. The minister seemed to be making some suggestions, perhaps some accusations, which, if proven true, would no doubt weaken the Russian Empire. If the Tsar decided to dispense justice, that is. The question the Tsar was wrestling with was not whether the accusations were true, but if they were true, what would he do about it? Was justice worth potentially imperiling the future of Mother Russia? Or was it perhaps worth silencing the accuser? The Tsar didn't like where his mind was going. It was a dark place, a place he tried to avoid, a place that no absolute monarch could totally avoid, however. At this moment, his servant interrupted his thoughts, informed him that the deputy minister was waiting, and the door to his study swung in. Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again. Thank you for joining me for yet another episode of Rule the Waves 2 in our collaboration series with XTRG, Tortuga Powered, and Benjamin Magnus. 4 other YouTube channels, I guess 3 other YouTube channels, 4 including me, all collaborating in 4-year terms to run the Russian Empire. We're in the 3rd term of the game. It is my first turn, and we are 4 months into our reign. It is April of 1908. Tortuga left us with a war on our hands against the Russians. We have won every battle that we have fought so far. We've destroyed 5 German heavy cruisers, 2 German battleships. The German cruiser fleet is devastated. The German battle fleet is not. Fortunately for us, we are allied with the British, who have broken the blockade of Russia and blockaded Germany. That being said, France is almost ready to declare war, so things are interesting to say the least. With that being said, let's go ahead and move forward to May and see what May brings. It'll be our first month without the blockade. Invasion of Katsu Bay is delayed due to uncertain margin of superiority. You know, I find that really, what? British spies in our country? I don't know if I want to piss off my allies. I can get budget and tension, but that doesn't... No, we'll handle it discreetly. Research breakthrough, hull construction, testing tank for hull form. Okay. Meanwhile, 10 enemy subs operated but did nothing. Friendly merchants, one of them was sunk by the enemy. We sank 4 enemy merchants, so 20 to 5 in terms of victory points. Victoria Louisa sank 1 ship in the Northeast Asia. I don't know how we have uncertain margin of superiority in Asia. I don't even think Germany has any forces over there. Well, it's going to be a battle near the bay. The enemy is unable to challenge our forces. We gain 761 victory points. Okay. That tension thing keeps going up for the Germans. We're already at war with you guys. How can it get any higher? Oh, it's 50. Wow. Germany is no longer blockaded. It looks like the British blockade of Germany lasted exactly 1 turn. That was useful. Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure. All right, we'll move forward to June. Why does it keep getting delayed? The enemy sounded us out about a negotiated peace with us gaining disputed border areas and some of their colonies. The Tsar wants to know your opinion. That sounds fair. I'd be happy to win a slight victory. These terms sound like a good basis for a peace negotiation. Peace! A peace is concluded with our side gaining some concessions and minor territories. Oh, wait, it was so minor that I don't actually get to pick anything? That's great. How is that a white peace? It said we gained stuff. Do we get more money? Like, what's the dealio? All right, we should scrap the Tortukov class. There's no reason to build these things. We're never going to be at war. Scrap. No, I won't do that. I won't do that to Tortuga. As much as I really want to build a battleship class of my own, it looks like I just ended my war. Like, oh, no big deal, whatever. Does Russia ever get better resources? Like, does its economy ever get boosts for that? Like, would our not our naval budget, but would our, I don't know, there's like a base resources. Would that go up? God damn it, Czar. You totally fucked with my storyline, too. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this anymore. Can I jump out and restart the war? Can we just pretend I didn't agree to that? Well, now I have no money either. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm just going to jump out and reload. Maybe they just sent some edible arrangements to the Tsar. I won't look. Don't worry. I'm going to shield my eyes. Hey, we're still at war. No, just kidding. All right. I have no money. No money. Is 12 the highest you can go? Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's put these guys back in reserve fleet, I guess. The Imperator Magnus class will keep active. The other guys will send a reserve fleet. Northeast Asia battleships we probably have to keep active just to keep Japan off our back. Heavy cruisers, we'll go ahead and move them to the reserve fleet. I'm going to be very sad to see my elite crew go away. Send these guys to reserve fleet. Should we do the Tortuga? Oh, you're destroyers. You're not important. Let's send you to the reserve fleet. We'd never need these guys to start a war. I really would have thought I would have gotten like all I wanted out of that war was some territory, but I wasn't looking for a ton. I thought when they said that, maybe I could get the Chinese possession of Germany. It's only value of 2. Damn it. Okay. Well, I guess we're just going to kind of move forward here. We may blitz through our turn a little bit. Superimposed X turret is now enabled. Hell yeah! Why? I have one question. Why do they always research a rear superimposed turret before they research a forward superimposed turret? That seems weird. Counterintelligence believes the U.S. has stolen technology and fire control from us. The affair is leaked to the press, and conservative newspapers are clamoring for action. Excuse me, sir. Why would you do that? When do mechs come in? Not sure. Hey, industrial production goes up. British government is offering to sell us the rights to 10-inch guns, quality of 0. No thanks. I have no desire to use 10-inch guns on any ships. But thanks, allies. They commissioned the Hexjager. After a naval visit by Germany, you're asked for a journalist to comment on the visiting ships. These rust buckets. Hey, fuck the Germans, right? These rust buckets with indifferently trained sailors and indolent officers are no match for our navy. Okay. By the way, you can tell I'm blitzing through my budget. There's been an internal upheaval in North Korea. Japan is apparently sending a force there. Push for an international force. Issue an ultimatum that they back down. Oh, yeah! North Korea ain't for you, Japan. Yeah. All right. I'm almost out of money. Money. A regional war seems imminent in the Balkans. One of our major arms manufacturers wants to step up exports to the likely belligerents. Avoid stoking the fires of war. A strong arms industry is a guarantor of our national security. We should sell to anyone who wants to buy. Hell yeah. They're currently baffled by the 900. You know the reason our scientists are baffled by a 900-ton destroyer displacement? Because Tortuga didn't let them do anything with destroyers. Okay. All right, so I have about a month and a half worth of money left. Where are we at with our construction? Some of these guys have to almost be done. 4 months on these guys. And then the Tortukov classes will be ready in a little over a year and a half. How much is... I don't even know. These are... I mean, it doesn't solve my construction issue. My money issue. I can, like, space these guys out. I can't even get one of them there. Oh, boy. So I'm going to finish one. Fuck. No. Let's see. Is there anything I can do? These crews are already fair. What if we mothball them? Save a little bit of money by mothballing our ships. We're helping out the cotton industry. Mothballing our ships. Okay. Let's also set some of these Tortukovs to reserve fleet. Some of these Asian battleships also go to reserve fleet. All of the Asian battleships will go to reserve fleet. All of the cruisers. I'm sure someone's going to be pissed. The British government wants to sell us the rights to torpedo technology, contra-rotating propellers. Yes, torpedoes are good. I still have no money. But I'm a couple of months closer. 2 more months until the rest of these ships all come off the ways. God damn it, I need more money. Should we mothball the whole Navy? Mothball the fleet. We're still in the red. We literally have the whole fleet mothballed, and we're still in the red. Oh my god. What the fuck did you do to me, Tortuga? Peace sucks. You have more than the half the fleet tonnage mothballed. The Tsar thinks this is an unacceptably low level of readiness. You're goddamn right he does. I can't even progress a month. Is he gonna fire? It won't even let me proceed. It's like you're breaking the game. So this one's gonna halt. Halt in the name of Tortuga. All right, we're gonna halt these 3. I don't even know what I should. So these guys should probably be reserve fleet. I mean, I don't even know what the proper like breakout is. Like, what should you do in terms of reserve fleet or active fleet or whatever? So these guys are going to be active. These guys are going to be reserve. We'll put the Estevai class in the mothball. These guys active. These guys reserve. We'll have 2 heavy cruisers there active. This guy will be reserve. I don't really like the idea of mothballing most of my fleet, so these cruisers will be reserve. This one will be active with a good crew. I think that's probably about right now. I would guess the Tsar would be okay with that. I'm not permanently halting all these Tortukov classes, by the way. I'm just going to halt. I'm going to try and get these all on the same schedule. So I'm going to halt this one for a month. We commissioned 2 submarines! Huzzah! Okay, so now these guys are caught up, so I'm going to resume him. 18 submarines are ready! Our top spies managed to get a hold of blueprints for the new German battleship Deutschmeister class. 10 12-inch guns. Well, the Tortukov class is definitely better than that, so not too worried. Counterintelligence believes that Austria-Hungary has stolen technology for AP projectiles from us. The affair has leaked to the press. We should send a diplomatic note with the strongest possible language. God damn it, Austrians, give me more money. All right, so this guy is ready, so we'll resume construction on him. Hey, new AP projectiles. And what the hell? Why are some of these ships not constructing evenly? All right. So we wasted a little bit of time getting these ships constructed, but they're now all 16 months away. It is July of 1909, so I've actually been in command almost 18 months now. Over 18 months now. It doesn't even feel like it. And with my little stupid not min-maxing, but my holding back of ships arbitrarily and completing the 20 submarines. Well, actually, no, we didn't. Did we complete 20 subs? Yeah, we did. We completed 20 subs. With the completion of those 20 submarines and a little bit of pausing on the battleships, we managed to build up a little bit in the way of funds. 13 million to be exact. How large are these ships? 23,000 tons? I'm going to go ahead and build slightly larger docks for 2.4 million. We'll probably come back and design a battlecruiser class before too long. Most of these ships have been rebuilt in the recent history by all of my predecessors, so I don't feel the need to necessarily replace them. Yeah. So, and I think once the Tortukovs start coming online, then we'll probably have to scrap some of our older pre-dreadnoughts, because there's no way we can maintain a fleet with like 9 pre-dreadnoughts. I don't even want to call these dreadnoughts. 4 of whatever these Imperator Magnuses are. I need more money. A rebellion has broken out in the British possession of the Solomon Islands. Our security arrangement with Great Britain has expired. That's concerning. Larger torpedo warheads. Torpedoes now do more damage. Nice! Anti-submarine nets. Nice! The Fonda Tan class has been laid down by the Germans. Meanwhile, the Russians are largely just standing pat. Because I have no money. What am I supposed to do with no money? The French wants to sell us 7-inch guns of quality 0. No thanks. We like 6-inch guns, and those are -1 anyway. Or wait, no, we could get quality 0. On a 7-inch gun? I feel like an 8 or a 9-inch gun would be more interesting. I don't know if a 7-inch gun is that much better than a 6-inch gun. I think we'll stick with what we have. I want to buy technology, but that's not the technology I want to buy. There's like 7-inchers just feel like are you really a light cruiser or are you a heavy cruiser? Are you really sure? Ooh, the Solomon Islands are now independent. Cross-deck fire. I never build ships with cross-deck fire. It feels like it would be more useful for like a light cruiser. The Tsar's made an ill-considered statement about Austria-Hungary. What is your response? I agree wholeheartedly with the Tsar. Hell yeah, tensions and prestige. And budget. Damn straight I'm going to back up my absolute monarch. Hey look, it gave me $5 million more. And the budget's close to balanced. That's right. Meanwhile, we're a year away from the completion of our battleship. I'm going to make sure to lay down a class of battle cruisers. I haven't built anything, and I've been in office now for 2 years. The series started out with a grind because of the war, and then I just sort of flippantly agreed to a relatively minor peace. There's been an internal upheaval in Henan. If we send an expeditionary force, hell yeah. Let's go send an expeditionary force. Order is restored in Henan. The place is now under our administration. Yes! We have expanded the Russian Empire into southern China. Yeah! New Russian territory. Yours truly is the first player in this series to add provinces to the Russian Empire. Not the way I expected to, but we did nonetheless. Well, actually, now we're probably going to have garrison requirements in Southeast Asia. Fuck! Overextending Russia since 1908. We can probably just send some obsolete destroyers over there, right? Let's see. Where do we want to send these guys? Let's send the Diana. Destination. Is it Southeast Asia that we have to go to? Is that where it is? Yeah, Southeast Asia. All right. So we're going to move this one to Southeast Asia. And we'll move one of the heavies as well. I guess that moves them into the active fleet. That should meet our garrison commitments here in the next month. That's fine. Continue. Influential trading companies are complaining that our naval presence in the colonies is insufficient to keep order. Well, it should be now. The German government is offering to sell rights to armor development. Krupp some. Yes, please. Krupp armor. Hell yeah. That is very important. Also, a hull construction breakthrough. And fire control. And targets and gun mounting. Man, our scientists are having a good day. Triple turrets. Woo! Counterintelligence believe that the USA has stolen technology and hull construction from us. USA, what is up with you? All right, so we are into March of 1910. When do I have till? 1911? The Tortukov class is closing in on completion. Okay. We probably do have the tech for a battle cruiser, but I don't have the money for a battle cruiser. That's a problem. The other thing is in 4 months, we will finish completing these docks, which will give us bigger docks for a bigger ship, too. There's been a political murder in the Balkans. Lee gasp! What is our advice on how to handle the crisis? Nations stupid enough to put their fingers in the Balkans should be realized that they can get burned. I would rather... I'm going to give a little bit of prestige up to get a little bit more money. Diplomatic solution. Give me money. We're going to go to Austria-Hungary, aren't we? The problem with a war with Austria-Hungary is there's not much to take. You can take the province of Dalmatia. That's it. I don't think you can take Austria-Hungary itself. Yeah, I have 1337 in funds. What about it? Coastal submarines. Research breakthrough. Better operating range for coastal subs. Does that affect the subs we already have or only new ones? I think it's only new ones. New docks are constructed. A spy from France has been discovered. Give him maximum publicity. I'm surprised France didn't go to war with us in the last war. We're up to 28,000 tons, by the way, for ships that are able to be built. A revolution in an African country has left some of our nationals stranded. Diplomatic means, international squadron. Strong squadron by ourselves, bombard the capital. Give me money! Okay. So the Tortukov classes are closing in on completion. Tensions are getting up there with both France and Austria-Hungary. $50 million has been collected by popular subscription to finance a new battleship. If you do not build a battleship, yes, we get to build a new battleship. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. I hope you've enjoyed our, I think this is the third episode that I've been in charge, but episode number 11, our role play continues. And that's all I have to say. So in our next episode, we'll design that battleship, and we'll round out our turn as we kind of blast through our 4 years now that we're at peace. A little bit of an ill-advised peace treaty. Not something I would have probably done had I known that we would literally get nothing. But that's what it is. Until next time, guys, I hope you're enjoying the series. Please feel free to leave your comments, your thoughts below. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.